Exercise 1. The first thing we need to do is learn a C major chord. Go ahead and place your index finger on string number 2 inside the first fret. I'm using the very tip of my finger and I'm positioning my finger near the right edge or the right corner inside of this fret. Place your middle finger on string number 4 inside of the second fret. Same thing, using the very tip of the finger, keeping the finger nice and curved, positioning towards the right corner or the right edge of the fret. Then place your ring finger on string number 5 inside the third fret. Same thing there. Tip of the finger, keeping it nice and curved, and scooting over towards the edge of the fret. My thumb is about opposite my middle finger. It's kind of between my middle finger and my index finger on the back of the neck. And I have some space between my palm and the bottom of the guitar neck here that allows string number 1 to ring out as an open string in this chord. So go ahead and strum strings 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And this is a C major chord on the guitar. Great job. Let go. Take a little break. We're going to try it again. Place your index finger on string 2, first fret. Middle finger goes on string 4, second fret. Ring finger goes on string 5, third fret. Making sure you have that space underneath the neck. We're going to strum from the 5th string down. So trying to avoid the top string, string number 6 on this one. Great job. Go ahead and let go again. We're going to try this one last time. Put your index finger on string number 2 inside the 1st fret. Middle finger goes on string 4, 2nd fret. Ring finger goes on string 5, 3rd fret. Using the tips of the fingers, keeping the fingers nice and curved, have some space underneath the neck here. I'm going to strum from the 5th string down. Great, let go on that one again. So that's the C major chord. A place where people usually have some difficulty on this one is open string number 1. So if you're strumming this chord and you don't hear this string ringing out, it's probably getting muted by one of the other fingers somewhere or by the back side of this finger. So if your chord is sounding kind of muffled, something like that, then you might want to take a look at your left hand. We need to drop the thumb on the back of the neck. Let it kind of slide a little bit lower on the back of the neck to create some space there. That allows us to use the very tips of these fingers and to get them nice and curved. This high arch or this curve here allows the other strings to vibrate when I strum. So that's what's going to give me a clean and clear sound with my chord, is getting the finger placement right. So if your chord sounds buzzy, it's a finger placement issue, and we just need to get the left hand technique a little bit better. Right, so see how much curve I have in these fingers? And each finger is positioned right near the edge of the fret. This is going to allow me to push this chord down with the least amount of effort or the least amount of muscle power. It's also going to make the notes sound a little bit clearer. All right, one more time on the C major chord. Index finger goes on string number 2, 1st fret. Middle finger goes to string 4, 2nd fret. Ring finger goes to string 5, 3rd fret. strumming from the 5th string down. Good job on that one. Talking about the right hand for a moment. First of all, how we're holding the pick. So I'm holding the pick between the side of my index finger and my thumb. Right? So it's like a relaxed fist with this hand, and the pick is going to slip right in there. Right? So if I took the thumb away, you can see it's just going to rest right on the side of that index finger. So when you're holding it, you kind of have a relaxed fist. These fingers are able to just kind of tuck in. Nothing's tight here. I'm not clenching. It's just relaxed, and the pick is going to be sticking out at a 90-degree angle from your thumb. And we want to try to hold this pick here as steady as possible. So we want to try to avoid doing any extra movements with the fingers. And that's part of the reason we hold it like this and not like this, is to try to take away any of that extra movement. Right? And even when I open my hand up, you can see the pick is just balanced there on that finger. So my thumb is just loosely holding that in place. There's a little bit of wiggle, a little bit of give in the pick that allows it to move a little bit as I'm strumming across the strings. So we don't want to be too tight over here. That's going to actually cause problems. So nice and relaxed, holding the pick correctly, and the pick is able to give just a little bit to the strings when you're strumming. Right? So just looking at our strumming directions here for a second, we're not using any chords in the left hand, just with the open strings. Try doing 4 downstrokes in a row, like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Notice where the movement's coming from. Right? I'm getting some of that's coming from my elbow and my forearm, moving up and down. Right? Some of it might also be coming from a rotation of the forearm, like you're opening a door or turning a doorknob. So there's a little bit of both of those motions in there. There's a little bit of up and down from the elbow. There's a little bit of rotation in the forearm. And my wrist is maybe moving around just a little bit too. We're trying to find something that feels really relaxed, and it also feels in control. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Cool. I'm making contact with the strings somewhere around this sound hole. I'm kind of staying in the area here between the center of the sound hole and the back edge of the sound hole. It's kind of the sweet spot. Some of that's also going to depend on how long your arm is, where it's going to comfortably sit. But in general, somewhere right in here, it's going to give you the best sound, in my opinion. All right, so those downstrokes we were doing, those are called quarter notes. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Those are quarter notes. And if we include the upstroke that our hand is already doing, we're just not hitting the strings there, then we would have eighth notes, like this. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So again, here's the quarter notes. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Here's the eighth notes. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So what we're going to do is grab the C major chord with our left hand, right? Put your index finger on string 2, first fret. Middle finger goes on string 4, second fret. Ring finger goes on string 5, third fret. Take a moment to get your left hand technique just right. And now with our right hand, we're going to do one measure of quarter notes, followed by one measure of eighth notes. It'll sound like this. Remember, we're strumming from the 5th string down here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So again, it was one measure of quarter notes, followed by one measure of eighth notes. Let's try it again. Ready, go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Again. Ready, go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Let's see if we can do 2 of those in a row. So now it'll be 4 measures total. One measure of quarter notes, one measure of eighth notes, another measure of quarter notes, another measure of eighth notes. Here we go. Ready, play. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Great job. Go ahead and let go. Take a little break. We're going to try that again. Go ahead and grab your C chord again. Index finger, string 2, 1st fret. Middle finger, string 4, 2nd fret. Ring finger, string 5, 3rd fret. With our right hand, we're doing the same thing. That was 4 measures long. Quarter notes, then eighth notes, quarter notes, then eighth notes. Here we go. 1, 2, ready, play. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Awesome. Hey, if you're enjoying this video so far, then you might be interested in the full easy strumming guitar system I put together. It has 50 exercises total, with 47 guitar lessons and 47 video practice tracks, and it's meant to go in sequence, so that each lesson builds on the last, and you're reinforcing that fundamental muscle memory all the way through. I designed this to be the easiest, most efficient, and effective way to learn chord strumming on the guitar, and right now it's only $7 for the first 100 people. Just click the link right here if you want to check it out. So make sure you're counting out loud when you practice that. You want to be actually saying out loud 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and noticing where your pick lines up with those beats. Another useful skill to develop early on is to tap your foot. You could tap your foot on the quarter notes. 1, 2, 3, 4, tap, 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 tap. Right? And we're trying to work on our sense of timing a little bit so that we are aware of where we are inside of each measure. Are we on beat 1, beat 2, beat 3, beat 4? Right? So this system of counting rhythms is going to enable us to understand and play all kinds of different rhythms and songs on the guitar. So this is definitely a skill that you're going to want to develop, and there's no other way to do it aside from actually counting out loud while you strum. Let's try it again. Grab the C major chord. First finger goes on string 2, 1st fret. Middle finger goes on string 4, 2nd fret. Ring finger goes on string 5, 3rd fret. Alright, so we're going to do this a few times in a row, and we're going to count out loud while we strum and try to tap our foot along on beats 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright, so it's kind of a tall order. We're doing several things at once here, so it's okay if you need to pause for a second and jump back in. Here we go. 1, 2, ready, go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Let's do it one more time. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and done. Alright, so it's several skills that we're working on at once here. The left hand has to know this chord shape, and we have to get the technique right with our finger placement, our thumb, and our wrist. Okay. The right hand, we have to hold the pick correctly and without too much pressure so that it has a little bit of room to move around here, but just enough pressure that it doesn't fall out of our hands. We want to make sure that we have our right arm moving in a relaxed way, a little bit of rotation, a little bit of up and down. The wrist is pretty much just loose. Right? Then we want to make sure that we are counting these rhythms. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Okay, now the last skill that we're going to be working on here has to do with playing in time, like you would if you were playing in a band or if you were performing. Right? So if we're playing in a band or performing, we can't necessarily stop and take extra time to switch chords. We have to keep everything moving. And the way we can practice our consistency with our timing is to use something called a metronome. A metronome is a device that's going to keep a steady pulse. Right? In this case, that pulse is going to be the quarter notes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Right? And each time you're hearing that click, that's where you're doing a downstroke. So the last skill to put this all together is making sure that while you're playing, you're also listening and paying attention to the metronome to make sure that your timing doesn't speed up or slow down. So we need to stay right in time with the metronome. And that's what we're going to do here in just a second. Alright, so we're going to move on to the next video, which is a practice track. It's going to be this chord progression that we just practiced. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and we're going to take that much that I just played for you just now, and we're going to do that 8 times in a row with a metronome. So just do your best with it. It's okay if you make a few mistakes or if you get out of time and have to stop and start back up again. That's all totally okay and is actually perfectly normal when you're learning the guitar. So don't get discouraged by any of those little mistakes. And with the power of practice and repetition, right, we can teach our hands the muscle memory to be able to do this chord and this strumming without hardly thinking about it. So do this practice track 2 or 3 times a day until this starts to feel really nice and easy for you. Alright, so let's check it out.